In terms of the type of property that we let for you, we can let anything from a small studio apartment up to a 5-6 bedroom townhouse or a big country property. It really does depend on the quality of the property as to whether it's really going to suit the needs of the tenants, the type of tenants that come to Savills. So it really doesn't matter whether it's a small property or a large property. In terms of how we might find you the right tenant, we have a very wide range of scope there. Typically over 70% of applicants start their search online, and we have a world-class website where we know that we get really fantastic leads from people searching for their properties online. We also have an in-house corporate services team who act for the corporate tenants who contact them directly very often first. We also have a fantastic global network of over 500 offices worldwide. The international element of the tenant market is really important to you as a landlord, and to know that we as the agent are going to tap into that tenant market on your behalf. They do make up the majority of the corporate tenant market, so you need to make sure that you've got an agent who has the reach of the international market, as we do.
We do have a centralised renewals department who are centred on overseeing renewals negotiations. They deal with hundreds of tenancies on a day-to-day basis, used to dealing with these negotiations, acting in interests of both parties. Coupled with that fact, although we're centralised, we liaise with the open front offices, finding out exactly what they're achieving on a day-to-day basis, discussing comparable properties, seeing what they've let for on the open lettings market, as well as renewal. So it's important that landlord and tenants alike are aware of what's going on in the marketplace.
As an ALA president, what's important about my role within ALA is that I'm really passionate about standards within the industry, not just in Savills but within the industry in general. And ALA is a regulatory body which does uphold the highest standards. So to be a member, you have to uphold the code of conduct, you have to have client money protection, which is really important to a landlord and to a tenant to make sure that their money is protected, so deposits and rents. And also that from a safety perspective, you can feel confident that your letting agent is going to reassure you that the proper checks are in place, so gas safety, fire and furnishing, electrical checks, etc.
Lettings is a minefield with the amount of legislation that we now have to comply with. There is an awful lot that a landlord has to do. There are things they have to do, there are things that they should do, and then there are things that they can do. And what we want to do is make sure that they're aware of everything. They obviously have to have some choices, but the things that they have to do, we want to make sure that they're doing those properly.
The consequences can be very serious. If somebody were to die in the property as a result of failing to carry out one of these safety checks, then as a landlord you are liable for that.
Our approach to fee structures and charging is that we wish to be as transparent as we possibly can be with our landlords and with our tenants. And we also want them to understand the journey, what's involved. We don't want any surprises along the way. So first of all, we have introduced some guides, applicant guides, tenant guides and landlord guides. And these are a what happened next. They will talk you through what you need to know. But they will also include some charges, because obviously there are charges involved in using Savills as your letting agent, whether you're a landlord or a tenant. But we want you to be very aware of what our charges are from the very beginning.